Well, the Browns sure do love to keep us on our toes after selecting Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan, after trading back from pick number 2 to pick number 5 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to give you my grade for this entire trade and pick, and then we're going to look at some day 2 targets for Cleveland, who have picks 33 to open up round 2 and pick 36. I'm going to bundle the pick and the trade together and give it a C. I don't think Mason Graham's a bad football player. If he was a bad football player, it'd be an F. I do feel like, and I understand that you cannot win or lose games in April, and the Browns are going to do its best, but it just seemed a little tone deaf. And I think that's why people are upset, because you got everyone excited for Travis Hunter, and then you pulled the rug out from beneath them. You moved back. Okay, you got a future first. You got a second. We're listening. We're with you. You're going to get Ashton Genty? No. How about a defensive tackle from a school all of you hate that didn't have the best, how do we want to phrase this? The best departing gift in the shoe back in November. So, yeah, I can understand why fans are pretty pissed off going from Travis Hunter to Ashton Genty to a defensive tackle who got everyone riled up at the shoe after Michigan beat Ohio State. Yeah, I know the Browns aren't going to do what the Ohio State Browns fans want them to do, and I respect them for that. That's how they should operate. But no one should be surprised when the reaction is, we hate this pick. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think Mason Graham is going to be a solid NFL starter. I think he's going to have an 8 to 10 year career manning the interior of the defensive line, pushing the pocket, stopping the run, winning with leverage, being a force, being a menace, and that's a good thing. That's a good player to have on your team. At pick number 5, I think the expectations were a little bit higher. And ultimately, when you get everyone super pumped and excited for Travis Hunter, and you go with a non-jersey selling position, which, listen, you don't run your draft like a fantasy football team, but from a fan perspective, you can understand how people interpret it that way, then you're not going to get the greatest reaction. Ultimately, this entire trade is going to come down to like 2 things. One, like, sure, Mason Graham being good would help. If Travis Hunter is, as some people think he could be, Pat Surtain on defense, Justin Jefferson on offense, then there's no way Mason Graham can hold a candle to that. Pick 36, I don't care about the day 3 picks. Put them to the side. Pick 36, you can use to get a good running back if you go quarterback at 33. And we're going to look at some draft targets later on in the video. It's this first-round pick that I think will be the major deciding factor. If the Jags bounce back and they go right back to the postseason like 2 years ago, and Cleveland is picking 25th from Jacksonville, it's not going to be a good trade. I'd rather have Travis Hunter than Mason Graham and next year's 25th pick. If the Jags gift the Browns a top 10 pick in a quarterback-loaded class, like the way the Bears got Caleb Williams thanks to the Panthers, then it's an outstanding trade. That, to me, is what's going to define this entire move right here. Do you get a quality first-round pick? Or, let me ask you this, do you get pick 26? You take someone like Greg Newsome. Would you rather have Travis Hunter or Mason Graham, let's say Quinshon Judkins, and Greg Newsome? I'm guessing a lot of you are going to take Travis Hunter, and I probably would too. But this was what I thought. I thought you couldn't get, remember, I thought you could only get 2 out of these 3 things. You ended up getting all 3. You got Mason Graham, a second, and a first. This is what I put out yesterday, 2 days ago, depending on when you're watching this, leading up to the draft. So kudos to Barry. He made a great deal as long as that first rounder next year is not some late round 1 pick. That's the gamble that the Browns made right here. That's what they sold themselves on for passing on Travis Hunter. Can they get an early first-round pick next year from Jacksonville to help them get a quarterback. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic because I think Graham's a good player. Like, I think he's going to have a nice role on this defensive line. We'll look at the defensive line in a second and some of his stats. But quick reminder, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're so close to 44,000 subs. If you haven't yet, please scroll on down and click that button. The reason why, or one of the reasons why I'm not over the moon about this pick is, well, Graham sure is a good player and all, and hey, that's a good thing to have, right? Who doesn't want good players? This defensive tackle, the squeaky wheel from the 3-win Browns team. They had a good interior last year, I thought. Dalvin Tomlinson played well. I mean, if you get the same type of play from Tomlinson that you get out of Graham, is the defense going to be better? And also, what the hell happened to Mike Hall? Is he out of it? Now you've got Malik Collins, Shelby Harris, Mason Graham as your DTs 1, 2, and 3. Hall's DT 4? Are you punting on him already, or do you just view Graham as that great of a prospect you couldn't live without him? Mason Graham is a very well-rounded player. Some of his shortcomings are, not to pile on, he doesn't have the most prototypical size, but he just has a knack for getting underneath offensive linemen's skin, and he's got a knack for putting himself in positions to make plays. He's not going to be some Aaron Donald pass rusher or Aaron Donald light who's going to generate a ton of pressure and sacks from up the middle. That's not what you're getting out of Mason Graham. I think you're going to get someone who's going to be a stout run defender, who's going to be a forklift to offensive linemen, who's going to open things up for the rest of his team, and he's going to, every once in a while, pop in the backfield and make a sack. Dane Brugler from The Athletic does a great job of covering the draft. He said, Graham is a leverage monster and skillfully destroys blocks with his strength, quickness, motor, and play recognition to make an impact versus both pass and run. He projects as a versatile interior presence with the floor of an NFL starter. You could probably move him to nose tackle in a pinch. I think he best plays at 3 technique, so just a little bit, towards the edge. But you're getting a good player. You just made a huge gamble on passing on the unicorn that is Travis Hunter. And if there's a learning lesson from this, Andrew Berry, maybe you were just creating one big smokescreen to get out of 2. But did you have to blue ball everyone and get everyone pumped for Travis Hunter? And then go, how about instead of the shiny toy, as Max Thompson, one of our viewers, put it, you get socks and underwear for Christmas. I like new socks I like new underwear for Christmas too. But the Xbox was fun. So don't tell me there's an Xbox. All right. Day 2 draft targets in a second. First, Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB and NBA playoff tickets. So if you want to go to a Cavs game, you want to go to a Guardians game, you want to go to any sporting event in your area, pay a visit to Game Time right before it gets underway because you could find some awesome deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. with last minute deals at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Let's switch gears completely and talk about day 2. The Browns have the 33rd overall pick. We should not assume they're going to stay put at 33 if a team is really dying to move up to get Shedeur Sanders, and the Browns don't view Shedeur as a starting Sunday NFL quarterback. We saw them trade out of number 2 when Travis Hunter was there. Don't rule out them trading out of 33. But if they stay put at 33, if you just want to go best player available, I really like Will Johnson out of Michigan. Not to make this the, Cleveland Wolverines, but I think Will Johnson is a lockdown outside corner with 2 out of your 3 corners entering contract seasons and Denzel Ward constantly dealing with concussion issues. Johnson's got some injury red flags, a knee injury kind of popping up recently, hamstring as well. But if the medicals kind of check out and you're comfortable with his long-term career in the NFL, I love the idea of just getting Will Johnson and going, hey, just like Mason Graham, we're going to get the best player on the board in our eyes, and we're going to take the outside corner from Michigan with great instincts, great IQ, excellent ball skills. So that's one name to keep an eye on. Let's talk quarterbacks. Let's look at the best quarterbacks available with the Browns at some point going QB. Now, they are showing a ton of patience. They did not jump into round 1. The Giants did that. They can stay put and get Shedeur Sanders. I mean, this truly is the best of both worlds. For everyone that wanted Shedeur early on in the pre-draft process, and then everyone for like me that didn't want Shedeur early on in the pre-draft process. I'm not going to have a hissy fit over Shedeur at 33. Sure, I don't think it's the best use of the pick, but we can at some point agree the reward of hitting on a quarterback is going to outweigh the risk of missing on 33. Missing on 2 is a different conversation. Missing on 33 is manageable. If they feel like Jalen Milroe is a better fit for what they want to do with Kevin Stefanski's offense, or just a better raw mold to work with, he's got great arm strength and better speed than Shedeur. Sanders is more pro-ready. I think he could probably benefit from sitting a little bit, but whatever. Milroe is, the action figure that has a rocket arm. He's got crazy good legs. He can move. He can throw, but he's got a lot of what was that? Not moments, but games. So Sanders, I wouldn't say is the playing it safe route. There's a lot to like about Shedeur. He is accurate. He is just kind of a playmaker too, right? He's a bit of a winner as well. So there's plenty to like when it comes to Sanders. There's plenty to like when it comes to Milroe. If I were in charge, I'd be picking neither at 33. In fact, I'd be looking at one of 3 players at 33. I'm looking at Will Johnson out of Michigan, and I'm looking at Nicky Manwari, the South Carolina safety, who had 2 pick sixes, was a All-American freshman on South Carolina. And then I'm also taking a look at maybe Mike Green, but he's got some character concerns. He was supposed to go round 1. And I'll toss one more name out there, Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa. I would love for Cleveland to walk away from this draft with either Johnson or Travion Henderson. Those are my 2 major wish list items at 36 potentially if they go quarterback at 33. So here are some guys to watch for. Appreciate everyone for either staying up late or checking us out first thing in the morning on Friday. Whenever you're watching this, greatly appreciate your support of the channel. Click that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. We're going to sign off. Give me your Mason Graham, pick grade, A, B, C, D, or F. I give it a C, but I'd love to hear from you as well in the comment section. And we will be back for day 2 of the NFL Draft live yet again on the channel in just a matter of hours.